Dazod 500 presents Canadian Elections of History. The 35th election in Canadian history happened on the 25th of October, 1993. In between this time, incumbent Prime Minister Kim Campbell was doing horrible. Kim Campbell? I watched the last video. I know Brian Mulroney this one. You cannot fool me. Yeah, Brian Mulroney did win the last election, but he was doing quite horrible in this second term. In fact, so horrible that he resigned and Kim Campbell stuck up. It's really hard not to notice the Meech Lake Accord, which was a horrible, horrible event for the Progressive Conservatives. Brian Mulroney also introduced the goods and service tax. Yeah, that was him. After having enough of the former Prime Minister John Turner as the leader of the Liberal Party, a leadership convention was held for the Liberals, in which they nominated Jean Chrétien. Because of this, Kim Campbell launched a very, very controversial ad making fun of Chrétien for his inability to speak out of both sides of a mouth due to his paralyzation, when he was 6 years old?
Is a Prime Minister? Does he understand that his plan to allow a deficit each year would increase our debt? How can he believe that you can kickstart a modern economy by fixing some roads? Why doesn't he answer the questions he's asked? Doesn't he understand the questions? Or the answers? Or both? Jean Chrétien, a Prime Minister?
When Chrétien saw the ad, he was very understandably, to say the least, mad, and he responded with this in an interview.
Conservative Party reached a new low. They tried to make fun of the way I look. God gave me a physical defect. And I've accepted that since I'm a kid. It's true that I speak on one side of my mouth. I'm not a Tory, I don't speak on both sides of my mouth.
This, alongside the fact that the Conservative stronghold of seats in the western side of Canada was being gobbled up by Preston Manning's Reform Party, the Conservatives were on track for one of the worst election defeats in Canadian history. Also, it's not like they're going to get any seats out of Quebec, because the horrors of the Meech Lake Accord and the Charlottetown Accords led to the creation of the Bloc Québécois Party, which is now led by Lucien Bouchard, which's goal is to solely become an independent nation for Quebec separatists, which obviously no one likes unless you live in Quebec, which I guess then is fair, but still, it's not really popular. And shortly after the last election, the NDP leader, Ed Broadbent, decided, I'm going to take a back seat, and decided that he was going to pass on his crown of NDP leader to the only, and to this date, only candidate in Canadian history to run from a territory, Audrey McLaughlin, who is running from the seat of Yukon. Congratulations to Yukon. Round of applause. With that said, we should get into the results of this election. There were 295 seats in the House of Commons and 148 needed for a majority. When 70.9% turned out to vote, it would give the winner 5,647,952 votes, which is 41.24% of the popular vote. And that would also give him 177 seats for a majority. That would be Jean Chrétien, who would finally become the Prime Minister after running against John Turner in the 1984 Leadership Convention. Lucien Bouchard in the Bloc Québécois Party got second with a total of 54 votes, making it the first time that either the Liberals or the Progressive Conservatives or Conservative Party the First was not the official leader of the opposition. It was also the first time that a party dedicated to separatism was the opposition in Canada. The third place spot went to the Reform Party with 52 seats. The NDP got last, falling down to 9 from previously 54. And there's Kim Campbell with 2 seats, the worst defeat for any progressive conservative party and for any party leader in Canadian history. The Progressive Conservative Party's demise was evident by this point, to say the least, and the Progressive Conservatives would never have a single prime minister in office again. And it was also the last election that took place 5 years after the previous one, like the Constitution allows it to be. And I'll see you guys for the election of 1997.